Good morning everyone. Welcome to computerlabspace. In my previous video, I explained the basic structure of C program along with a simple example program. Also, I executed that in Ubuntu, right? Today we will learn a simple concept which is much needed, that is files used in a C program. Okay, let's start now. So these are the different types of files we used in a C program: source file, header file, object file, executable file. Now, let us study what is source file. Since we are writing and executing a C program, this source file should be in a .c extension. .c extension. Okay. For example, how we are going to save a file? We will generally save a file as file name .c, since it is a C program file. So file name can be anything. You can give it like, if it is a sample program, sample.c, or if it is a first program, you can give it as program1.c. So file naming conventions, I will do a separate video. Okay. But as of now, since it is a C program file, since it is a source file, we are going to save a file as with a .c extension. Understood? And then what does the source file contains? So generally this source file contains entire program logic. Entire program logic in the sense your entire program code which is in a human readable format, that is in a general normal English. Okay. And also it maintains C programming constraints, but it is in a human readable format. And that code also contains a function definition, headers, declarations, then statement blocks. In brief, the entire program logic will be there in the source file. Any doubt in the source file? Hope it is clear now. So source file, just you need to you need to remember that source file will, if it is a C source file, it needs to be end with the .c extension. The file name can be anything. And what will be there in the source file? The entire program logic, which is in a general normal English and which is in a human readable format. So this is what a source file means. Then now comes to the header file. So header files, these header file names generally ends with .h. For example, if you write any C program, the first line what you are going to write, it is a #include stdio.h, right? So the header file, uh, right? Or conio.h. If it is a mathematical function needs to be included in a program, we are going to write it as #include math.h. That means this program includes the mathematical functions like square root or power or exponential. So this is what in the sense the header file means. Okay. And these files contains function prototypes. Function prototypes. I will explain what is this function prototype. Function prototypes and preprocessor statements. Okay. So this header file contains function prototypes and preprocessor statement. What is this function prototype? Function prototype means it is just a declaration of a function. It does not contain any function body, just it is a function declaration or function prototype will be there. Sorry, function declaration will be there in the function prototype. Why we need to include this function prototype? Because see, here it just gives the information to the compiler that the function may later be used in the program. For example, when we start to study with the function concept, I will explain that in depth. What is the function, or how we are going to write a function header or function prototype, how we are going to declare a function, then whether we need to include that function body inside a program or outside the program, outside the C program. So all these things I will explain in a different video where when I take with the functions concept. Okay. So now, as of now, as it is required, what is header file? Just the header file includes a function prototypes and preprocessor statements. So function prototype means It is just a declaration of a function without any function body. That means it just gives the information to the compiler that the function may later be used in the program. So this is what function prototype. Then next comes to the preprocessor statements. Preprocessor statements, right? So here, as the name itself, it is indicating that preprocessor. So process before, right? So these are the preprocessor are the programs where it tells the compiler to pre-process the source code before compilation only. So all these preprocessor directives begins with the hash symbol. All these preprocessor directives begins with the hash symbol. As I already told, hash include. Remember, I told hash include stdio.h, that is standard input output header file, right? So hash, it is a preprocessor directive. There are many preprocessor directives like hash include, hash define, some conditional preprocessor directives also there like hash if, hash else. I will also do a separate video on this preprocessor directives also, okay? But preprocessor directives always begins with the hash symbol. Clear? Now, next comes to the object file. Object file. So, object file means what? Object file means what? 1 minute. Okay. Object file. So, generally, these object files are the outcome from the compiler. Once you compile a source file, you are going to get the object file, and the extension of this object file is .obj, and these will be in the form of a binary. Okay, you cannot understand. Source file will be in the form of a human readable format. That is a normal English. But this .obj file or object file will be in the form of a binary. That means a zeros, ones, right? All the function definitions, everything will be in the form of a binary form only. And this object file, it is not directly executable. These object files are not directly executable, okay? It is not directly executable. So then the linker will perform here. I will explain that when I just start to explain what is compiling and executing a C program. Okay. Now let's start with the executable file. Executable file will have an extension .exe, and these files are generally the outcome of a linker. I will explain what is a linker means and what does this linker do, or what does this linker means. Linker generally links the number of object files to the library function so that this linker will make a program or will make a file as a executable one. So this is what is the executable file. So executable file are the outcome from the linkers, and linker will generally link a number of object files to the library functions, and so that it will become a executable file. So this executable file we generally run on the machine or run on the computer. So these are the different type of files we used in a C program. I hope it is clear. So source file, header file, object file, executable file. Then how we are going to compile and execute. So where these files comes, right? Source file where it is, header file where it comes, object file where it comes, executable file where it comes. So to know this, we need to know how it compiles and execute a C program. Okay. So now we will study compile and executing C program. Okay. Compile and executing C program. Yes. So now, okay. first what we will do, we need to create a source program, right? So if we are doing if we are doing a C program, we must save our program file in .c extension as I already explained. For example, if your program file, you are going to save your program file as sample.c, where .c is the extension we use to save a C program file. Is it clear? This is very much required for the compiler to understand the file is a C program file. So that's why we need to store a program file. We need to save a program file in .c extension only if you are doing a program that, if you are doing a C program. Okay. Then this sample.c will be having what it contains. It will be having a complete program code. Fine. Then by the compiler or with the help of the compiler, we compile this source file. Now, which is our source file? Sample.c. Sample.c is our source file. Understood where our source file comes. So sample.c is our source file. So with the help of the compiler, when we compile the source file, that is sample.c, the compiler will look for errors. Is there any logical error? Is there any syntax errors? So the compiler will look for the errors now. So if there are no errors, the compiler will produce .obj file. What is .obj? That means object file. As I explained just few minutes back, this object file will be in the form of a binary. Binary means zeros and ones, right? And this object file is not directly executable. Understood? So that is what I have written here. So object code. Okay, that means the object file comes here. Once the compiler compiles a source file, you will get the object file. Since it is not executable, the linker comes here. So what is the purpose of linker here? The linker links these object files along with library functions or the header files, etc. All this, the linker is going to link the object files, other library functions and header files, etc. to produce an executable file. So that is what I have shown here. So linker, after linking the object files, library functions, then header files, etc. All these files are going to be linked together and this produces an executable file. And this executable file contains a set of instructions in a language that the processor can able to understand, and this is the one we run on the computer. Is it clear? So here it comes the executable file. As I explained earlier, we have 4 different types of files: source file, header file, object file, executable file. So understood now? So source file here, when we create a program, that is what we are going to call it as a source file. Then once we compile, we will get with the object file. So meanwhile, we are going to link all the header files, etc. here, and then it become after the linker links the object file, library function, etc. It will become a executable file. I hope it is clear. Thank you. See you all in the next video. If you like my teaching, subscribe to Computer Lab Space for more videos. Thank you. Thank you all.